welcome round to episode 176 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on your other screen or in your other ear is listening to the podcast. It's Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Welcome back, Cam. Good to have you here.
Are we doing another episode 176, or did you just delete the last one?
No, I don't know. The numbers get sort of a bit confused. And see what happens when you're not here. See what happens when. So I'm trying to talk you. See what happens when you're not here.
Yeah. Well, I think Glenn did a great job. He was quite sensible. He did. Like, I think I sent you a message. He does roll out the same comedy act every week, but that's okay. That's what he does.
The old dad jokes that he rolls with.
He loves them, and thank God it's not school holidays, because otherwise we'd all be painfully getting it.
That's very true. Yeah, yes. No, he was excellent. I love getting inside his brain, and when I record an episode with him, it's great because it's one-on-one, no distractions, and I get to listen to him without any distractions, but he also has to listen to me. It was a bit weird that I was actually critiquing one of his photos.
Yeah, that was good though.
Yeah. That didn't quite feel right, but it seemed to resonate. And we had some nice comments on the show, and I think Glenn took it all in the right spirit, so that's always good.
Well, he's just another photographer like us. He's a very good photographer like us, but so nothing wrong with saying we can't pull his photos apart. Yeah, we can't rip his stuff apart and give you some criticism, not criticism, but feedback. No, it's good. I actually don't mind being on the show sometimes because it gives me something to watch afterwards. That's not me and you talking. It's obviously you and someone else. So most of the time when I watch the show back, I'm just watching for, things we spoke about that we might need to not forget to do or put online or whatever we need to do. Just go over and make sure
you're very good at that. You do correct the notes quite often, or the description below on YouTube. So that's one area that I could certainly clean up my act on.
Well, it's okay. You do all the editing and stuff like that. So, but it's good. Yeah, it's good. I listened to it on the way back from when I was in the Tarkine last week again. That came out. It came out on the Friday. We'd finished on the Friday. I think I listened to it that night when I got back to my hotel room and was unpacking and downloading and sort of unwinding from the trip. And that was good. So,
thank you to everyone who has liked, followed, and subscribed to the channel. By the way, subscribing to the Down South Photo Show on YouTube is completely free. There's a big subscribe button down there. Go ahead, do us all a favor and hit that. And for those of you who have been waiting for this to come out because you were watching me and watching this guy comment on the BFOP live bookings episode that went out on Wednesday night, wasn't that a hoot? And what a surprise. Just the odd glitch here or there.
Well, I must admit, I just got back from basketball training, and I tuned in, and I saw it go live at the 7:30 mark, but then I was eating dinner and stuff like that, so I wasn't really. But then I came back, and I saw Matt had disappeared. You were still talking. Then Matt came on and said, "Oh, there's all these people putting comments in the Facebook groupies, just saying I've got problems. I don't just." They were having a bit of a meltdown. So. But you know what? It's a great festival. This happens not every year. Last year was very good, apparently. Like from what all reports was, it was a smooth process. But some people just need to be patient. It's a big effort to put it on, and there's a lot of logistics, both physical and IT side of things. So I'm sure people,
for all we know as well, like because we're now recording this and not watching that anymore, it's all gone perfectly smoothly and everything's fine. So
the comments section hasn't lit up on the BFOP groupies yet, but
good.
Look, it's tricky. And every year they put himself. So here's a comment there. I was so bummed. I successfully added Josh Beam's chasing perspectives to the horn to my cart. Then I added abstract photo walk. When I went to check out, the message stated chasing was not in stock. Very slow page refresh every time. So sad I missed this. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's 20 comments slow. I think there's a lot of newbies this year, I think, from what I understand. And I think the newbies, it's always the newbies that get on and get a bit disappointed that they didn't get what they want or something happened or whatever. But then they get to BFOP and they just spend the weekend. They completely forget about any cock-ups that happened. And that's just all a bit of fun. So I'll get there. I won't be there, but you'll be flying the flag, and
I'll be flying the Down South Photo Show flag at BFOP this year. Come say g'day. If I have met you before, please come up and say who you are. We do meet a lot of people at BFOP, and sometimes putting names to faces. I mean, I can't do it at the best of times, let alone at a photography festival. But please come and say good day if you're heading to BFOP.
You won't be there though. You're not going to be there at all, are you? They've got you working from dusk to dawn. Dawn to dusk.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, I've only been an official instructor now for 2 years, and I am now officially the most employed instructor. So I've gone from zero to all of it. So I'll be doing. How's this, Cam? I'll be doing 24 hours of workshops at BFOP. So
there you go.
Bring it on.
This is what they do. This is what they do to the newbies. They put Adam Dyson and I through the ringer in their first year. I think it's a setup. There's something going on, I reckon.
You reckon?
I do.
You do love a good conspiracy, so.
Well, I don't know. I don't. It's not conspiracy if it's trend. So
now, Cam, we have a big announcement to make.
We do.
We have the winner of the August competition, our photography competition that we ran over on our Facebook page. The theme was free. And I would like you, Cam, because you're giving away the prize, which is a book. Is that right?
Yeah, Cradle Mountain book. Here it is, right here. I've got one earlier I picked up.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a Cradle Mountain book on Cradle Mountain, the Overland Track. But yeah, it was a good copy. There's a lot of good entries.
Was there what?
There was some great entries. Anyone, again, we say this every time and people think it's a bit of a throwaway comment, but anyone in the top 10 could have won. I chose this image because I personally just love what this image is about. I'm a bit of a fan of this topic, and I thought it was well done and edited well, and it met the theme of free. Are you going to put the winner up on the thing now? Is that coming up, or am I going to say the name?
As soon as you say the winner's name, it's going up on the screen.
All right. So the winner of the 3 August competition is David Marland, who put up this shot of the Spitfires, I believe they are. Flying through the air, 3 beautiful Spitfires. I love the cloud behind them. That's just got World War II imagery all over it, which I love. So I'm a big fan of planes. I like old school planes, like the P-52 Mustangs and the Spitfires and all that kind of stuff. So well done, David. I thought it was a really cool shot. Like I said, anything in the top probably 10 could have won. But I would actually love a print of this. If David's willing to get me a print, I'm happy to pay him for it. But I reckon that would look pretty cool. But I just like the cloud. The clouds behind just look really stormy, and those machines flying out of the sky, they look really good. So well done, David. I'll get your book out your way. I've probably got your details somewhere anyway, David, I think. But if you've already got a book, David, send me a message in the next week and tell me to get you something else. That might be easier.
Yeah. So the way Cam and I normally judge the comps when we get to the end of the month is we'll completely independently select our favorites. I think I picked 6. I think you picked 6 or whatever it was this month. And then we generally narrow it down to the ones where we've overlapped. So this one came up. There was a couple of others that overlapped as well. And we normally give the casting vote to the person who's giving away the prize. And this month it was Cam, and Cam chose this. And to be perfectly honest, I think I would have chosen it as well. It's an absolute ripper. I'm just wondering, Cam, if we can also, David, I'm sure you're watching, if you can, when you contact Cam, can you just let us know where the shot was taken, maybe a bit about the gear that you used? I'm going to hazard a guess and say it might have been at the Avalon Air Show. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's so cool, isn't it? Because it's the dark clouds that make it. Like you're right. It's got World War II vibes written all over it.
Yeah.
So it's a very moody sky anyway, and then it's punctuated by these 3 planes that are, and I love the fact that they're not exactly lined up. I think that bottom right one has a bit of rogue about it. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I think what would have been good, not that you could probably have got it, but when you get the swirl off the back of the engines or the engine as it goes through the cloud, that would have been real cool.
Yes,
but obviously
vortex.
Yeah, obviously you just you do what you can. So, but yeah, very cool, good stuff, David. And yeah, we'll be in touch, or you'll be in touch with us.
Yeah, nicely done. Well done, mate. Awesome. Moving right along, I'm going to throw up my photo of the week, if that's okay with you.
You go for it.
Thank you. This is this photo's actually got a bit of meaning for me now. It's so cool. So this was on our Tarkine workshop, which we did Tarkine to Cradle Mountain, which was a couple of weeks ago now. What I love about it is the fact that you can see our group up the top there. And I think you're one of those, Cam. I think you're second from the right in that photo.
I do believe you're not going to zoom in on that photo, are you?
No, I won't zoom in on that photo. There's no need to zoom in on that photo. People are now zooming in on that photo.
No, there's no need to zoom in on that photo.
So this is at Sarah Ann Rocks, which was pretty cool. I sort of clambered down. I could see you guys, and Cam and I had walkie-talkies, so I got you all to stay still. I did, I think, about a 2 or 3 second exposure. This is on the Nikon Z5 Mark II with the Tamron 16-30 f2.8. It was cool because it was starting to get quite dark anyway, but I had a variable ND filter on just to slow that water down a little bit more. And as I say, it means a bit to me now. When I look at this photo now, it takes me straight back to when I was clambering around those rocks. And right behind me, Cam, was that where Dombrovskis wall is? Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much where you're standing is in the footsteps of Dombrovskis, where he was. If you turn around the other side, there's a big wall that he took. It's not one of his famous photos, I wouldn't say, but it's one of the photos that he's done from that location. And I'm always fascinated with his stuff as to why he went and shot like one direction and not the other direction. You know, the shot you've got there is amazing. So maybe he took a shot the same as that, but then why does he not take the same shot? Like, just his mindset on it, why he doesn't take certain shots of certain things. That's where I find it's interesting with his stuff. But yeah, great spot. I've actually just put up another photo there if you wanted to show looking behind you. I did it last week when I was up there. I went down there just to give you an idea of what might be behind you. But
here we go. We'll put it on there. There you go.
Yeah, so behind you, you've got it's an amazing sort of slate wall or something like that where it's just broken off. So you can either shoot that really dramatic detail, or going back to yours, you can shoot out to the ocean with all the drama out there as well. So
yeah, that is literally from where I shot that other photo. So and I think the peak top left is the one that I climbed up to later on. Is that right?
Well, yeah, that's what you were hanging on to. Yeah. Just as we tell all the customers, now don't go and climb any peaks and don't do anything silly, and don't go down near the water. Brendan goes and breaks every rule we put in there and gets some great shots.
That's all three. That's right. But that, Cameron, is not your photo of the week. I'm going to get rid of it. We're going to. Sorry, as nice as it was, we're going to add.
Trash it.
We're going to add that one.
Yeah. So this is not the Tark Guide, nor is it Cradle Mountain, but this is the old.
Could very well be.
Could be. It could be Tassie somewhere, couldn't it? But we're off to Scotland in a couple of weeks. I do have a trip in between that and then, but I'm getting excited. Looking forward to getting back to Scotland and taking our first group around there, which we're actually there for about a month. So we'll have 2 groups going there as well. This is the Old Man of Store. This is taken with my big white Olympus lens. It was only 1 of 3 times I pulled it out on the whole trip. Cheryl confirmed or guaranteed that I'd have animals to shoot. We didn't see any animals. So I had to bring, I just thought I haven't lugged this thing around the world for 2 weeks for no reason. So I got this out and shot it from quite a long way back, just as the mood was coming through the Old Man of Store. But I'm really excited to get up there, and I missed out on BFOP this year, which is a bit sad, but I'll probably tune in a couple of times and see where you're at and see how everything's going. I actually did something, we're not a golf show, but I just looked up something today about St Andrews Golf Course. And if you're playing as a single, you can literally go there the day before and register, and most likely you get on the next day because there's always a single spot somewhere. So I'm thinking I'm going to play golf at St Andrews in my time off.
You really should. And we're not a golf show, but you do have your golf clubs over your shoulder there.
I do. I don't use them anymore, but
that would be awesome. So can we record an episode of this show from St Andrews? That'd be cool, with St Andrews in the background.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Let's do that. That sounds exciting. Speaking of, I had my annual golf day on the weekend, and I'm still dusty from it. Anyway, moving right along, we've got what were we doing? We're going to talk. We wanted to critique some photos. That was quite popular. We did that a couple of weeks ago. We had Shaz Bang's photos that we critiqued. So we've got another set of photos, this time from Julie Maltman, who joined us on our Murray Mallee workshop, and I know that she had a great time. And I also know that she got some great photos as well.
Yes, yeah. Did she say she had a great time, or did you just assume that?
No, I know this year because everyone, as you can see by the ticker down below, everyone who comes on one of our workshops has a great time. And the 2026 workshops are up and are filling. We did a few updates of our list today. Kangaroo Island 2026 sold out. 2027 is up there for Kangaroo Island. We have our East Coast Tassie, which is Freycinet Bay of Fires, available. We have the Great Ocean Road, of course. How can I forget? And we have the Tarkine to Cradle Mountain again next year. So you can find them all at dsps.com.au, which is linked right there. So
Yes.
Shall we critique?
Speaking of Great Ocean Road, well, we don't necessarily do plugs on this show. Maybe we won't. But I bought a book on the Great Ocean Road.
You did.
It is one of the most detailed books I've ever read in my life about photography. We might put a link in the list below if we don't forget it. But it was 700 odd pages on the Great Ocean Road, and it's a big effort. But anyway, moving on along, we'll critique some images, and then we'll maybe chat about that a bit later.
Absolutely. So, by the way, just before we do get into these, sorry. When we're critiquing images, it's not like, yeah, that's right. It's not like, we think we're God's gift of photography and we're here to critique your images. We just think it's cool to do. Because first of all, we get sent some great photos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's not what you said offline. You said let's rip these. You said let's rip these photos to pieces. You said.
Yeah. So no one believes you, and that's fine. But
yeah, that's fine. I know. Yeah. Don't worry. I know what my position on this show is. Don't worry. I know what job is.
Right. Yeah. That's right. So, which one shall we start with? I reckon we start with this one. And I think I had first dibs last week, Cam. So I'm going to give you first dibs this week, isn't it? What a cracker!
It is good. I'm just going to bring it up on my little screen here in front of me as well. So, so this is on. I think this is on the Steam or at the Pioneer Settlement. I think it is.
I think it is in Pioneer Settlement. Yeah.
Yeah, in Swan Hill. So, firstly, I love black and white. I think if black and white is done well, it's quite striking. It's funny. My mum, who's down here visiting at the moment, said the same thing today about a black and white image of someone else's. That black and white definitely is a bit more striking if you get the details and stuff. Composition wise, I like it. I think maybe on the right hand side there could be a little bit less of that corrugated, maybe like one row less. I feel like there's a little bit more space on that right hand side than on the brighter side. But I like the light to dark fading of the light. That's really nice. I love the detail in the old hose and the canvas or whatever it is of the hose there. I love the cobwebs. It's really, really nicely edited and exposed. So yeah, it's a really cool image, like an abstract image of what's going on there. It may not sort of tell a story as such to what it is or where it is. That's probably the other thing that's lacking for me is, okay, it looks like a hose of some sort, but where is it? Is that a fire station? Is it an old barn? What's the purpose of that? I think what may help that is maybe, like I said, maybe a tighter crop or even a bigger crop or more tighter crop just on the swirled up hose there on its own. So it's a little bit more abstract. But the image is great. The editing's really nice. The detail's really great. It's nice and sharp. So yeah, to me, it's maybe just a little bit less on that right-hand side. And somehow, Julie, I don't know, it's hard to do, but if you can somehow tie something in that gives a bit more detail as to what it is, would probably help me a bit. But I like it. It's good. It looked really nice, framed up, and nice bit of white matting and a nice frame would be really nice.
Yeah, no question. I love it. I think it's great. I'm with you. I think the secret with black and white is, for me, it's texture. And you've got the texture of the fire hoses there, and you've got the corrugated iron offsetting it beautifully. But yeah, you've just got really cool textures which have been captured really well. I think it's exposed very, very well. Cam and I talk, well, particularly Cam talks a lot about exposing for the light that you see, and what you've done there is correctly exposed on what I would consider to be the brightest area of the shot, which I'm assuming is the coiled up rope on the left, hose on the left, which just lets all the rest of the light fall where it does. And that's where I think that's where the better photos occur, is when there's not too much push one way or the other. It's just literally setting the exposure correctly for the light that you see, and then just letting everything else land where it does. So love it, Julie. And I'm with Cam as well. I think it would make a great print, probably even a good canvas print, given that the hose itself looks like it's made from canvas. So like a textured canvas would look pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that does canvas?
No. Not well. And also I think you're completely right, Cam. Just cropping, either add an extra row of corrugations on the left or subtract one on the right. And
I'm just using my little ruler here to cut one out, and I think just cutting out one, maybe it doesn't center everything, but it just balances it a little bit nicer. So
but for me that's hard. That's kind of clutching at straws. I think it's cool. It's a cool shot. Very well done. Nicely done indeed. So let's should we add another one?
Yeah, let's go again.
Let's go with this one.
You better go first. We better.
Now this will be, which silos would this be, Cam?
Is this Manangatang?
Yeah, it might be. It's either Manang or it's the other one. Oh, is it? This is Manangatang. Wasn't it cool when we were at Manangatang and we had that bloody train?
Oh, yes.
That was superb. Just this big old wheat wagons, and that was nuts. And a massive big, like 2 locomotives at the front. And then when we're heading back, we get to Ultima, and here comes the train.
Yeah. At night time, scared the hell out of us because we're on the tracks.
No, it was like, is that actually a train? Holy shit, that's a train. Anyway, Julie, this image is cool. Symmetry is great. Would also lend itself to the monochrome treatment of the last image, I think. But there's something about rust, isn't there? There's something about rust that ages the scene so well. And I guess it's a door, for want of a better phrase, but right in the middle of the image, the door is looks like maybe it's just newer corrugated iron, which just immediately steals the show, just gives your attention straight to that. I don't hate the shadow lines above the door, but I don't know. I mean, that's obviously we were there when we were there, so it was tough to change that. But I'd also like to see this image in flat light, where you're just relying on the corrugations to do the work for you, and that would eliminate that shadowing. Having said that, it does add a bit of extra depth to it, so probably a foot in both camps there. But yeah, how cool's the rust and the little trapdoor in the foreground with a chain running off it. But symmetry works really well. If you chuck your ruler on it, Cam, I'd say that it's pretty close to centered, but it looks like it's a little heavily weighted on the left-hand side. I think on the right, it's a little bit light on. But otherwise, again, another cool image and another reminder of what the Mallee can deliver. Farm, rural scenes like this. Also, the broken window on the left and the one on the right is covered in corrugated iron. So little things like that just to keep you looking at the image. But it's one of those ones, if you look at it too long, you start to go a little bit cross-eyed with those vertical lines. But
you do. Yeah.
Cool shot, Julie. I like it.
Yeah. First thing I noticed is that symmetry is pretty good. That right-hand side is definitely closer to the side than the left-hand side. So we had a little dent in the sidewall, and the non-broken window side's too close to the other side of the frame. Like, and it's tricky. Like, it may very well be not symmetrical with where it is. But if we could have evened that up a bit, that would have been good. I actually don't mind the shadow above the middle section. I actually, on my screen anyway, I would actually like to see that shadow a bit darker. So it's a little bit more harsh of a shadow, so it gives a bit more black in there. I love the broken window. I love the play off between the broken window and the other one that's covered up. My eyes do go funny if you look at it for too long. The only other thing I think maybe for me personally, I think potentially for me it's a tad warm in color temperature. It's like just a bit too orangey for me. Again, that could be just my monitor, but I feel like it's maybe just warmed up a little bit. But like I said, we're nitpicking at little things. The trapdoor thing with the chain going off center is good. So yeah, I think it's a great shot. It's got some really lovely textures to it. It's got a bit of a story there. That's obviously some sort of warehousey bit that goes next to the silos, or that's obviously a store thing that they run the loader on that comes out that middle door or something like that. The trap door below might be for keeping grain or something in there. I also like the fact that it's just beating the shit out of it. Like the side walls are all dinted, the windows broken. It's really run down, but still able to create some symmetry as well. So I like it. Again, to me, it's probably just the color temperature a bit for me, maybe not as warm and just evening up. It's just a matter of just pulling that crop in from the left-hand side, and I think you got a ripper. So yeah, good job.
Yeah, I agree. And while you were talking there, of course, we've sort of focused so much attention on the shed in the foreground that you sort of overlook the fact that there's two massive metal structures sort of almost hugging it, like it's sort of nestled in between the two of them. There's no sky. There's zero. This is all man-made. The whole frame is filled with man-made, which I think is pretty cool. And of course, that was by choice. So I love doing that, particularly if I'm shooting landscape. I love eliminating the horizon, mostly because I make my horizons crooked. Thank you. But I like getting rid of them completely. So, if you're shooting waves, just shooting a little bit lower, angling down a little bit with no horizon whatsoever can work really well. And I think that's what this does here. Sometimes it can make the image a bit claustrophobic, but I think in this case, it actually really does help. And the more I look at it, Julie, you just have to pick a team here and either take a bit off the left or add a bit to the right if you had it. But no,
I wouldn't actually mind seeing, like you said, you got those two big silos behind. I wouldn't have minded this. This is great, but I wouldn't mind also seeing, and maybe she did, maybe taking like 10 steps back and getting a bit more of the gigantic silos dwarfing this little structure here, or if it goes all the way up. So I think it's got potential to be that sort of fuller frame abstract type of thing, as well as come back higher, back further and shoot a bit higher as well. Shooting buildings and things like that, like this is really tricky because you've got, straight lines on the building and curved lines on the silo. So that makes it a bit tricky. But with a bit of perception control, straightening lines up, I can't speak, using that and getting your verticals lined up properly. And but it's a cool shot. Again, this would print really, really nicely, I reckon.
It would. And at the sake of critiquing it to death, another good example of pretty much exposing correctly for the light that you see, and the dominant light being, I don't know how much thought Julie put into the actual exposure of the shot, but seeing the corrugated door right in front of us, that the whiter one, which is obviously it's more reflective, it may even be a tad overexposed but that works. That adds to this image. So yeah, that's cool. So nicely done, Julie.
Don't mind me, I'm just making another drink. It's Wednesday night, so I can make a drink.
Hey, what else are you doing on Wednesday night? Cheers. Let's have a look at one more. We've got three from Julie, so
I think our show's got a drinking problem.
It definitely has. Cam, lead us off for this one.
Right, yeah. So I actually think I might have been standing next to Julie when she took this one. Because this was a funny place. It was quite muddy and slippery underneath, and it had sections that weren't, and it had sections that were full of water. Again, this is a great shot, just shooting straight into the sun, but using that silhouetted tree to sort of block out the actual ball of the sun. I think it might have just been on the horizon. The salt plains or the salt flats are very cool. I like the different coloring between the lighter and the darker and sort of gold salt there. I like the composition. I think it's good. It's sort of, you're not splitting the scene in half. You're bringing some of that detail and texture in the foreground with the sort of, I guess, the more harsh silhouettes in the background, which works. It's good. I like it. I think maybe to me it's a bit cool in temperature, or maybe a split toning between the sky and the foreground could have been a nicer option. And the other thing that sort of catches my eye is that other tree that's on the right-hand side of the frame. One thing I always say is just make sure we scan around the frame, and there's a couple of little edges of the tree going through the side of the frame there. I would have been tempted to probably just clone them out or get rid of them and just leave that one sort of strand there. But cool composition, cool location. There's not much. It's a little bit soft around the bottom as well, from what I can see, but it's a tricky one. It's a ultra wide angle lens and things like that. So, but yeah, cool location. I like how you just got like infinity dead trees out the back of it, which is good. And something else that's good that I'm just noticing as well is that there's no dust spots in the sky. Sometimes people miss dust spots in those real clean skies. So Julie's done a really good job of if there was any cleaning or keeping her sensor clean in the first place. But yeah, the main thing to me is probably just that it's just a bit blue for me, where I think there could have been some more color, some more warmth color in that foreground with those goldy bits and white bits of the salt. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. I mean, there's not much more for me to add on that one. However, if people want to know where this spot is, it's basically about 15,
tell them.
20 kilometres out of a certain town in the Mallee that shall be known as Naya West. Great spot. This was actually a spot that I don't want to say stumbled on. I knew it was there, but when I was scouting for a couple of different locations for the Mallee, I went out here. I was there with my wife, and oddly enough, actually, I don't know if you can see that, but my screensaver on my phone at the moment is pretty much that tree, but with the sun in the sky behind it. So,
so Julie's ripped you off.
Of course, yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly what she's done. So, boo, Julie, try harder. No, it's such a cool location because exactly what you said, all the dead trees, and then you get the classic Mallee sunset, clear blue skies. And we got there, I want to say an hour, maybe 45 minutes before the sun actually went down. It was incredibly glary, and it was difficult to create the compositions looking straight into that sun. The second that sun hit the horizon, and this has got to only be a couple of minutes after it's gone down, everything just came to life. It was great. The silhouettes really popped. It was just one of those places that what looks like sort of little balls on the ground, that's actually salt encrusted pebbles, basically. So it's a big salt flat there. It would be cool to see this full of water cam, or at least just with, a couple of inches of water across it at this time of night for those reflections, and like give everyone waders. Just go out there and get these shots. That'd be magic.
Well, the one thing that we did do as a group, like people did move around. You can see in the left of Julie's image there is some water, low-lying water that's there. There's a few of them that moved around there. I think Julie might have been one of them, but there was shots that you could get that classic reflection as well with the water. So something I always say when I'm at a location, especially when you've got time, like you said, we're there about an hour or so before. I always say to people that when you get there, like try and find 3 different compositions that you think are going to work. So one, if you're pointing at the tree here, okay, this is going to be a cracking shot if it works. There's one. There's another one if you go to where the water is, you might get some reflections. And maybe the other one's just shooting down pure texture of the salt with the sun, afternoon sun, and coming across the texture of the ground. If you pick 3 different compositions from a location, you don't get stuck. So if for some reason that sunset doesn't really happen and you haven't got any other options up your sleeve, you're sort of just pushing through uphill a bit because you're sort of there and you got all these beautiful opportunities. You just haven't planned in the hour you've been there. So I always make sure that I can try and find a couple, if not 3 or 4 different compositions that I know I can switch to if the main one I want is not going to work.
Yep, absolutely. Very good advice. And as you know, Cam, anyway, thanks, Julie. We'll remove that image now. But as you know, Cam, and you've seen me in action, like, I can sometimes let the moment get the better of me, and I clamber literally to get different shots. And then there's regrets that, well, actually where I started is where I should have stayed. And generally I find that as well. You might be the same. Being experienced photographers that we are, we can generally get to a spot and pretty much know where the right composition is. But I'm impatient, so I'll sort of hunt around a bit, and sometimes it's a matter of just leaving my tripod in the spot where I think it's going to be awesome, and then coming back to that, knowing that I've already scouted that spot. That's good advice. But definitely finding 3 different spots as the light changes, so that you can say, right, and pick the eyes out of which is going to be the best spot, because you can only be in one spot at once. Generally, when the light is at its best, you can only be in one spot. So good advice to pick out 3 different spots.
And your little idea of just leaving your tripod hanging somewhere. Sometimes I do that when it's a bit of a busier spot. Leave your tripod there and take your camera off and go have a look around. Because people walk past and go, I won't move that. It's a tripod. I'll leave it there. But that might be, it's almost like your anchor to say, well, this is where I'm probably going to end up. At the moment, I'm just looking elsewhere. So, don't just go to that one spot. Like you said, you can generally walk up and you'll see something that really catches your eye, and that's generally the one you might go with. But try and expand a bit as to where you look around. And not only that, it gives you options, but it also gives your eye a bit of training to look at different things at different scenarios. So it's good to do.
Yeah, for sure. We really enjoy people sending us their photos. So if you'd like to send us photos to critique, please do. We do already have a few that we want to show over the coming weeks, so that's great. But just because you send them in now doesn't mean we won't show them. Where can people send them to, Cameron?
Well, we are a professional camera show here. We've got our own email address. So contact@dsps.com.au. That goes to both myself and Brendan. So one of us will see it, if not both of us will see it. And if that's the case, we'll get onto it. Like Brendan said, we've already got a couple of people that are there that we can sort of stretch over the next week or two. But if you've got something that you want to see critique, send it through. Even if you want to maybe put in there saying what you think you like about it or don't like about it, maybe give us a bit of an insight as to what you were thinking or what you liked about the shot. That could be pretty cool. So, but send them through. Yeah, it's a nice little segment. Maybe it will replace Dear Cam, because Dear Cam seems to have gone a little bit quiet, but that's okay.
Run its race. Doesn't mean you can't send us a Dear Cam to contact@dsps.com.au. If it's an absolute belter, we'll read it out. As far as that's concerned as well, if at all possible, you don't have to, but if you can even put down the camera gear that you used as well, we can probably look it up in the EXIF data, but we're not that scientific over here at the DSPS, so that would be cool as well. So yeah, by all means, send them to contact@dsps.com.au. So
yeah, that's good. Good
Cam,
stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Cam, should we do beer donations? Are we at that part of the show?
I've just been keeping an eye on the BFOP groupies page as we go through, and it's great. This is I am not hanging shit on the festival. I love the festival, and I love Matt and Nick. They do a great job. But it's funny just to watch what people said. So there's one person, someone we might know actually, Simon McGinley. I think we might know Simon. I noticed. So actually, Liz, one of the people go, "Hi, it's a madhouse right now." I know that. But the second one I managed to book took $13 of credit for tax. Is that right? So they put the checkouts are taking tax on.
Yeah. Guess whose workshop that was?
Oh, was that yours? Was it?
This guy.
You charging tax? Are you charging tax on your?
Apparently, when I was on with them before, you could hear someone saying in the background, "You've left the tax on for Brendan's workshop." Tax? And I commented, "Can I keep that? I mean, surely I get to keep that, right?"
Yeah.
Hey?
No, you should.
Maybe you
so.
can buy us a beer, Cam.
Just to clarify, that people buy a ticket to BFOP and you get BFOP credits. So it's not like Monopoly money; it's not real money. But then the chunk tax on. Putting tax on not real money. Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, I wish them the best of luck. Like I said, I wish I was going this year, and yes, but it's must be nerve wracking for the two of them. So
it's full on. It's full on. Beer donations now. Mel H and Shaz Bang, thank you for giving us a beer.
Yeah.
I reckon Jenny C might have as well. I don't know if that slipped through, but I think I did see one come through from Jenny C. That's fine. I'll thank her in person. That's fine. Speaking of Mel H has very, very graciously and gratefully from our perspective, organised a Down South Photo Show catch-up at BFOP on the Thursday night at the Alpine Hotel. We will put the details below this episode. It's also below last week's episode as well, with his contact details there. He is I think he's sort of getting into the process of booking dinner spots. Looks like there's bit of a turnout, Cam, which is okay. I shouldn't be so surprised, but there is a turnout.
Well, you know why? Because you and I aren't going to be there.
That's right. The actual two guys that are, anyway, whatever.
Whatever. Thanks again, Mel, for doing that. I haven't actually looked at the event as such to see how many. Oh, yes, there's over a dozen people going. That's pretty good.
Yeah, which is fantastic. So hopefully, and again, that event kicks off at 6:30. I won't be off the mountain on the bus. I wouldn't imagine until 8:30, 9 o'clock. So hopefully there's still a couple of stragglers hanging around. I can sneak in, have a quick beer and then go and fall asleep. But that would be awesome to see you at the Alpine, because last year the bus actually stopped right outside the Alpine. So I'm going to assume that's what we're doing again this year. So that would be cool if, and for those of you who aren't beef hoppers, sorry that we bang on a lot about it. It is a very important festival on the calendar for us photographers. So hopefully one day we'll get to see you up there. It's pretty cool.
Hey, something without notice on here.
I love questions without notice. It's the best.
It's probably a statement, maybe, I don't know. The other day we were looking at the podcast, and you said there was quite a lot of people that listen from America.
Yes.
From the United States of America. So I just want to give a shout out to those guys who are listening, because like I said, we do rabbit on a bit about Australia and local stuff in Tasmania, and these people are like, why the hell do I care about Australia or Tasmania? But g'day to you guys in America. Hopefully you guys are out shooting. I'd love to hear from people from America, maybe what their favorite location to shoot is in their own backyard. I'm going to America in about a month and a half later this year to Utah. If there's anyone listening from Utah, I'd love to reach out and say g'day. But yeah, if you're listening from the United States of America, please jump on our Facebook page or chuck us up a photo that you've taken from your own backyard in the last week or two, and maybe we can critique some of your photos from America and any other country. Well, that means if you
that would be cool if we had an international viewer share us some photos for critiquing at places we've never been. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I would love that. Because a lot of the photos that we're critiquing at the moment we've seen and been to, so and we have got a bit of a handle on how we would shoot them, but to be sort of going in blindfolded and not knowing what the location is, that would be pretty cool. And to that end as well, if you live internationally and you're part of a group, a camera club, or a few mates that would love to come and join us here in Australia on one of our workshops or tours, reach out. We would love to talk to you guys about doing something like that. So,
are you giving shit away for free again?
Oh, not for free. Where did the word free come into that?
we will fly you out from wherever you live, put you up on first class tickets.
For a small fee,
for a small fee, we'll fly you out, put you up in first class, 5-star. But no, if you are traveling, come out to Australia and spend the time out. You Americans have got, and the English have got no excuse for not coming out, because our dollar is absolutely terrible at the moment for going overseas. It's in the toilet. But you guys coming out here are like millionaires, so you got no excuse.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, by all means, if drop us a line. Be cool. Be cool to know where you guys are listening from and all that sort of stuff. That would be awesome. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end. Cam, what have you got coming up?
I am off to Flinders Island this next Monday week. Oh, no, it'll be Monday from when this comes out. So off there for another Australian Geographic magazine travel workshop. This is our first one we're doing on Flinders Island with them. We've got 6-7 people. The wonderful Cheryl's coming over to help co-host that one and drive the second vehicle, because Flinders Island isn't known for its bus rentals and lots of them. So we need to get a couple of little buses to take people around. So looking forward to that. I'm not sure the weather's going to be rocking, but a bit of drama on Flinders Island is good. So looking forward to that. And then we'll be sort of getting ourselves prepared for going to Scotland. If anyone's in Scotland or UK and you're going to be there between October 6 and 12, I'm just going to be floating around the UK in between tours. So tell me where I need to go. I'm thinking the Lake District. I'm thinking of maybe a few other places. I've been to Glasgow and things like that. But if you're listening from the UK, please drop us a line, jump it up on the Down South Photo Show Facebook page and tell us where I need to go in the UK when I've got a week off. Simple.
That would be cool. And we have already organised for Cam to come on the show from wherever he is in that week. So that'd be cool. It'd be cool to see in the Lake District. That's a lovely part of the world.
Well, I might run into Thomas Eaton, a good friend of the show.
He basically lives there, so...
Yeah, I wonder if he wants
to... He doesn't, but he's always there.
What about if I just rock up at his house and say, hey, remember us? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be all over it. He's our second most watched episode ever.
Isn't that interesting, that the most watched episodes? And if you haven't watched the Thomas Heaton interview, go back and have a listen. No one listens this far anyway. But if you haven't listened...
That's whatever we want at this point.
So if you haven't listened or watched that one, go check that out. But there's interesting, the popular episodes. There's one episode that's rushing its way up the charts.
Yes,
which I'm really surprised by. I know the person that did the interview is also surprised, but so something hit a chord there. But young Cheryl is moving up, and she's in 5th place at the moment, and fast
all
catching,
time.
all time, fast catching the Ben Horn interview. She's only a handful of that. And then after that, she's got to try and chase the New Year's Eve India edition, where we had 800,000 people watching. Speaking of India, no one lives this far, but a good friend of the show and last week's host, Glenn Lavender, and I have just put out our March 2027. I think he mentioned it last week on the show as well.
He did indeed.
That's open for bookings. It's been out there for half a day and it's already half sold out. So if you want any further information, again, just drop us a line and we can put you in the right direction.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I've been thinking a bit about that, and what I sort of not forgot, but what I would love to see, Cam, if you can get a photo of some kids playing cricket.
I knew it was cricket. I knew it. Yep.
It'd be so cool.
At sunset or sunrise, right?
Oh, whenever. But what I love about, and what I don't know enough about India to be any kind of, to have any information on it, but any kind of expert. From what I can tell, is cricket matches break out in the street all the time.
Yeah.
So that'd be what I'd be chasing.
I'm wondering if I go to India, whether or not I should bowl some chin music to some 8-year-old Tendulkar. What do you reckon?
Well, that's right. You might be doing us a favour.
Might try to take a few out before they get good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm really looking forward to that. That should be
that's
wonderful. So.
Yeah. What am I doing next week? Well, I'm glad you asked. I've got my Bellarine Peninsula tour. Goodness me, that was correct up so fast. That starts on Sunday. So this goes out on Friday. So we're going to be on that on Sunday. We've got 4 days here on the Bellarine. So I'm really pumped for that because it's like our 1 day ones that we do, but obviously the extended mix. So the extended 12-inch version of the 1 day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we'll get to hang out a bit longer in some locations and also differing light. I can't wait to crawl all over Point Lonsdale Jetty and Lighthouse at sunrise and sunset. Really looking forward to that. So that's as I say, rolled around really quickly. Happy Father's Day for Sunday, by the way, to all the dads out there, and to my old man as well. And in fact, it's hilarious because I've got four guys coming on the trip that I believe are all dads. So.
There you go. Now, exactly. Happy Father's Day. I'm going to call you out on something here. I've just realised what you've done with this Bellarine Peninsula. You've managed to run a multi-day workshop where you end up in your own bed each night.
How crafty was that?
Yeah, because usually when you do multi-days, you end up in a hotel room in a bed that's not yours and everything like that. You've broken the code. I think you've managed to figure out how to get into your own bed. With your own wife, no one else's. That's always a bonus as well. But
yep.
Okay. So what? Will that be sunrise starts every morning? Like every morning?
Yeah. So we kick off. We kick off on no one listens this far, so we can say what we want, right? We kick off on the Sunday, sort of early afternoon. We have a bit of a meet and greet at Ocean Grove Camera and Photo. And then we head out to. We're going to kick off in Barwon Heads, and the only reason we're kicking off in Barwon Heads is because we're having a beer at the Barwon Heads pub after sunset. So you've got to do that. Right? And then that night, and we haven't even mentioned this because we don't talk enough about natural phenomenons on this channel. There's a blood moon on the Sunday night, which is the lunar eclipse. So we are going to try and shoot that. Weather permitting, which is a 2:30 a.m. start. So that's going to be interesting. So that as the moon's setting, it's going to go into eclipse here. You'll get it on Flinders Island, of course, if weather permitting.
Yes.
But sorry, will you start Flinders on Monday though?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah. So it's Sunday night, first thing Monday morning.
Is it just me, or seems to be a blood moon every fortnight these days?
Yeah, I think the blood moon thing. And then the strawberry moon and the blue moon and the super moon. That does
there seems to be a hell of a lot of different moons these days. But
this is a proper lunar eclipse, which you only get once every couple of years, I think. Particularly full eclipse, which we're lucky enough to get in Australia. North and South America aren't getting it, and there's a couple of other places that aren't as well. But that'll be pretty cool. The weather at the moment, as you mentioned about Flinders, the weather at the moment is not looking that conducive. And to be perfectly honest, 2:30 in the morning, I don't know about that.
We were meant to have an aurora here last night, and I went and saw Paul Kelly in concert, which was great last night.
Speaking of
we
Aurors,
Speaking of Roars, we walked out and it was Cyclone Tracy coming down the main river in Tobart. Not a cloud, not a clear sky to be seen, so there was no aurora chasing. Thank God.
fair enough. Okay, we might leave it there. And if we're done, we said and done, we're all good.
I think we're done. Yes, I think that's enough for this week.
Brilliant. This has been episode 176 of the Down South Photo Show. Now, does that mean we're recording next week? We might not be. Who knows? We'll find out.
We'll see. I think we can probably do it on one of the nights. Maybe it might be a slightly bit later, or maybe I'll do it. Maybe we'll do a one live or something from somewhere. I don't. We'll work it out.
That sounds good to me. We will see you at some point down the track. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Goodbye, Cameron. See you next week.
Peace. Bye.